Well, I can tell you, she looks good. Yes, she does. But does she play good? Let's talk about it. What's going on, YouTube? Ledger here once again, this time at you again with some more Honkai Star Rail. And I actually want to take some time to talk about this Foxy and Beauty here, Yukong. Yukong is looking pretty damn good. She's looking pretty amazing to me, right? In terms of aesthetics, I've been waiting for her for quite some time because of just how she looks. You know, she looks awesome. Then I got to see her kit. And then that also, it brings up concerns and it brings up some excitement for me. At first I was thinking, oh yeah, she's great, she's awesome, she's 5-star quality. Then I started learning more and more about her kit and I started questioning things. And that brings me to the question, is Yukong good? Well, let's answer that. Now, I think whether her being good or not is going to be situational, right? Now, let me explain that. But first, I do want to say that this character is going to be someone who you want to make sure that you wait and see how the testing goes once they release. Because this character has a few complications, a few different things that is going to be very strategy based in order to use her. And you need to understand if you want to use her like that, and if you understand it, and how well it works in practice, okay? So we're going to want to see that, so it's going to be imperative that you do wait until release to see how she truly is. And also too, definitely, if you do like the content that I do give out here, definitely subscribe to the channel. You get content like this, informative content, reactions, whatever else we do. Honkai Star Rail, we do Genshin here, we do whatever I really feel like doing, which is essentially those two games, of course. But, you know, subscribe to the channel so you can get more content like this. I'm really trying to get to that 1,000 mark, so let's go. But back to this here, right? So when I say that Yukong is situational, right? Now, we look at someone like Ting Yun. She uses her skill, and no matter what, your DPS, wherever you choose to level up on that skill, gets that buff that she gives for 3 turns, regardless, right? You don't really have to plan it out. You don't have to speed tune or anything like that. I mean, you preferably want her to be the fastest, but you don't have to do too much, right? It's kind of unga bunga a little bit. Same thing with Bronya, you know? You want her to go after the DPS, but at the end of the day, it's pretty easy not to use her. You know, E, she makes us the DPS go next, then the DPS deals more damage. Boom, good. But we have someone like Yukong. Yukong is somebody who will buff the entire team, but she buffs them for 2 more actions, right? Excluding her own action, of course. So in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're using her correctly. And there's a couple different ways to use her incorrectly. And if people aren't going to use those, if people are going to use those incorrect ways, they're not going to see the value in her. They're not going to like her, and they're going to see the many issues that she could possibly have. But I'm going to tell you straight out, when you use her correctly, I do think she is going to be cracked. I do think she is going to be great. So to answer the question, do I think she is good? Yes, I think she is good. But that is going to be subjective. So when I think that when she's used correctly, she's going to be the best 4-star buffer in the game. She's going to be the best 4-star harmony unit. Because the fact of the matter is, she provides attack to your entire team, right? And a good amount of attack. If you look at her skills here, right? If you look at her stuff here, at talent level 8, her skill is going to increase the attack of all allies by 70%. So 70, that's a good amount of attack is being added to your allies. That's a large amount. That is nothing to scoff at there. That's pretty good. If you look at someone like Ting Yun, she's going to do 43% of their attack, right? That's a good amount more. I mean, granted, she also transfers some of her own attack too, which kind of helps out. That kind of gives you an idea of how much attack Yukong is adding. But not only that, when she bursts, when the skill is active, what happens is she adds a good, right? Keep in mind, I have the talents at level 8 right now to give you an idea. So that does go up and down as you move the talents. But at talent level 8, she's going to provide 26.25 crit rate and 58.5 crit damage based on the information on here. Of course, during launch, it might be different numbers, but this might be safe to go with right here. So just keep it in the ballpark in your mind. And if something slightly different than that, that's what it is. All right. But yeah, so she's going to do that also. And I don't like, people need to understand the value of adding so much crit to your character to the point you can change your builds when getting this much crit. I mean, granted, you're only going to be able to do it, get that crit when she has her burst up. So you don't want to do too much there, you know. The fact of the matter is, you're going to be getting that maybe once every 3 turns or so, depending on how well you keep your energy up. And that's going to be phenomenal, right? You're going to be getting massive crit hits, getting pummeled onto the enemy during the uptime of this burst and skill together. And essentially, when you have her up, she's going to just make sure that your DPS nukes, right? So you can find ways to strategize that and set that up. So it's going to be very, very valuable. But here's the thing. If you don't use her correctly, she is going to have quite a bit of issues, right? If you don't use her correctly, one, since she's only buffing for a couple actions, if you don't speed tune her correctly and she's not going right before your DPS, then you can essentially waste the skill and waste the buff on somebody that's not going to attack. You can waste the burst because you don't use it while her bowstrings are up. So you can do that too. If you're constantly trying to use her skill over and over again, she's just going to just guzzle your skill points, not allowing a lot of place for your DPS to use skill points also. This can become very unsynergistic when you are not using her correctly. And I do feel that when she comes out, a lot of people are going to say that she is horrible because they don't know how to use her correctly. They think, buff good, let me put buff. Oh no, I have no skill points, right? Oh no, you know, my DPS wasn't going next, you know. So it is essential to be able to use her correctly, and that's going to make or break her for a lot of people. Well, how do you use her correctly, really? Because I touched on it a little bit when it comes to that, but there's one thing, a part of her kit that I feel like not a lot of people are noticing, and that is she deals damage. She deals damage, guys. She does put some numbers up on the table, all right? She has an enhanced basic attack that she does use, right? Which does attack enemies' toughnesses, which based on what I'm seeing, it does seem that it apparently it does an enhanced amount of toughness that it normally would do. So that's great, right? So that's a good thing that she does right there. Her burst actually has pretty good multipliers. So it has pretty good multipliers. So when you do use it, she is going to be hitting pretty hard, right? So the way I look at it is that the way you build her is that you build her like a sub DPS. You build her like a sub DPS because her buffs don't rely on her stats, right? It's not like Ting Yun where she gives a portion of her attack. She just has buffs based on her talent levels. So you build her to deal damage. So when she does her basic attacks, when she does her burst, she's going to hurt the enemy a lot. So when you can't keep using her skill over and over again, you can use her basic attacks instead, and that's going to be dealing damage, right? So she's either buffing your unit to the point where they can nuke, or she's going to be dealing damage herself alongside your other units. So basically what I'm trying to say is use her basic attack, right? Don't spam her skill. Use her basic attack when her burst is not up. And also too, right here, she has ways to gain energy during her downtime, right? Because when her bowstrings are up, she's regenerating energy right here. So that's the thing that we got to keep in mind here, guys. So that's what I'm saying. Do I think that Yukong is going to be good? Yes, I do, but it's all going to depend. And of course, like I said before, I'm going to say it again. We need to wait until she gets here, right? We need to wait until she is released and we get to test her out and see how it goes, all right? And of course, too, when you're pulling, don't pull for 4 stars, pull for the 5-star. If you're going to pull on the banner, pull because you want Luocha. We're going to get it for free next patch, so keep that in mind, guys, all right? So, but that's kind of what I wanted to touch on when it comes to Yukong and what I really think about it. Let me know what you guys think, right? If you like the content I'm giving you, like the video, comment your thoughts down below. What do you think about Yukong? Are you excited for her? Are you going to get her? Or at least you're going to go over her when you're going through the Luocha? Let me know what you guys think. And subscribe to the channel so you can get more content like this. And with that, I'll end it here. Legend out.